Okay, I'll show you how to create VPC within the London region, and then within the VPC I'll show you how to create the subnets, the public subnets, and within the public subnet how to spin up the EC2 instance. So let's begin. Now here on this particular window you can see that that's my AWS account, and I've selected the London region. Okay. Within that London region you need to create VPC. So generally the way you go is click on the services, you click on VPC, select VPC service. It will give you this particular dashboard where you have launch VPC wizard, within which you will be one more option called launch EC2 instance. As you can see, it is showing one VPC, which is the default VPC comes by default on this particular AWS account. But what we'll be doing is we'll be creating our own VPC. So we'll say your VPC, click here, your VPC, and we'll say create VPC. Let us give name to this particular VPC, AKR VPC. This particular VPC will require a setup block. Now simply, just to speed up things, I can simply copy this here and I can paste it here. Let the tenants be default. Yeah, we'll not go for IP version 6. Our IP version 4 is more than enough. And just remember, it is going to be created within the London region. So click here on create. We go into the VPC and we can see that the VPC has been created. Tenancy is default. Is it a default VPC? No, that's not my default VPC. This is the custom VPC which I have created. And then here you can see that it's the name of the VPC. Okay, now within this VPC what we need to create is subnet. So let's begin that. So click on the subnets, click subnet. We need to give name for the subnet, so let's say public subnet EU West 2A. That's why we are creating this, right? And we are creating this subnet within our new VPC, that is AKR VPC. Remember, this 21B is the name, and it would be created within the availability zone EU West 2A. Now don't get confused with this name and this name. Now that's the name for the public subnet I've just given, just to make things a little easier. So looking at the name, we can just guess that this particular VPC is within the EU West 2A. But this is the actual availability zone within the London region. We need to give the CIDR block again for the subnet. So let's give a CIDR block like 10.0.0.0/24. Now there's a separate tutorial on CIDR block, how to give on VPC and what is CIDR block and what is /16/24 class A, class B, class C, etc, etc. But for time being, you can simply put this number and say click create, and this will create a subnet for us. So now you can see that it's just a name. It says public subnet EU West 2A. But if you go within the description, here you will see actually where it has been created, in which availability zone it has been created. So it has been created within EU West 2A. Alright. Similarly, we will create one more subnet, so public subnet EU West, but this time it will be in 2B. Again, we select the same VPC. This time we have to select EU West 2A and just give the CIDR this time as 10.0.1.0/24. Click on create. Alright, so now EU West 2B has been created. Now you are seeing only a single entry because of this filter, so you can clear the filter and you can say I want to see all the subnets within my newly created VPC. So that's this one. That's my AKR VPC, and now I can see both the subnets within that particular VPC. Alright, now you can check here. One thing is very important. Since we have selected the CIDR as /24, 251 addresses have been available for this particular subnet. And the most important point is here you can see that auto assign public IP version 4 address is no, but we need public IP address for our EC2 instance so that we can connect via internet. So we'll be doing that. So the next step is to create EC2 instance within this particular subnet. So let's create that. So I've just opened one more tab for that, just to make things a little in speed. So launch EC2 instance, and let's create Ubuntu EC2 instance. We'll continue with T2 micro, so let's go with that. I want to create one instance within AKR VPC in EUS 2A region, and this time I want my IP address, so enable. Click on add storage. Let's go with only root volume. Let it be, let's keep all the values as default, as same, will not change it. Add tag, add new. So let's give the name, so Nginx server for 2A. So that's the name I'm giving. Alright, click on next. Now we need to give the security group. So security group is something like a firewall around EC2 instance. Already it comes with a default, but we'll be creating a new security group. So let's let me show you that. So click on here, create a new security group, give a name. So let's say AKR security group. You can change the description, you can put anything. So I'll just say new security group for AKR VPC, and we need to select the number of protocols for this particular security group. So one of the protocol is the SSH. This is the protocol which we use on port number 22 to connect to EC2 instance, and I want to connect from anywhere. I want to add one more rule. So let's say I want to connect to this EC2 instance on port number 80 for the application running, which is Nginx server, and would be connecting from anywhere. So these are my two rules, and that's my name of the security group, AKRSG. Preview, click. It will give you some warnings. It says that it's open to the world because we have selected anywhere instead of custom and my IP. Launch. So let me show you how to create a key pair. So basically this key pair is nothing but it's kind of a public key private key concept where you generate the keys and you use this particular key to get connected to EC2 instance over SSH. So let me show you, since I'm having only one key, so let me show you how to create key and how to use it. So let's say create a new key pair, give any name. So let's say AKR key, that's the name I'm giving, let's say, right? And then say download key pair. Okay, the moment you click here, it will download a PEM file. Now there are two types of files for this key. One is called PPK file and one is called PEM file. So if you are running on a Windows, if you are trying to connect the EC2 instance from the Windows, and then you need to download a software tool called PuTTY. That particular tool will be used to connect to EC2 instance. And PuTTY understands only PPK file. It does not understand PEM file. So in that case, I'll show you how to generate PPK file from PEM files and how to use PPK file from your Windows operating system to get connected to EC2 instance. Alright, so we'll say launch instance. Let's see view instance, and let's go to EC2 dashboard. It's still showing that running instances are nothing because there's a filter called running. So I'll just uncheck that, and now you can see, so two instances, but this particular instance was terminated, which I created in the past. So the one which is showing you this particular symbol is the latest one. So I can put a filter here. It says instance state, maybe pending. I want also all the instances states with, let's say, running. So that's it. So this particular is the fresh new instance which just now I created, and it's under the initialization status. So I need to wait till this initialization appears as 2x2 check. So if that value comes here 2x2 check, that means that instance is ready and you'll be able to connect it. In fact, you can connect before that also, but let's wait for the status to get changed here from initializing to 2x2 check. So I'll just say refresh. Okay, in meantime I'll show you how to generate a ppk file from PEM file. So as I said, you need to have a tool called putty. So there are two things. You can see exe file. One is putty app and putty gen. Putty gen is for creating the ppk. So click here. You can say generate a public private key pair. It says load an existing private key file. So let's say load. So already we have that file, so we'll just go to keys, and here I will select all files and it will show you my key here. I say open and it says successfully imported foreign key, and I say click OK, and then I say let this particular default value be RSA only, that's fine, and say private key. So are you sure you want to save this key without a passphrase and protected? Yes, say yes, and then you can give the name. So the name of my PEM file was AKR PEM file. I'll just keep the same name, so AKR PPK. So AKR key dot PPK, it will take it, and I'll say save. Done. So the PEM file has been converted to PPK. And why we have done that? Because putty understands only PPK. Okay, now you can see here the status has been changed to 2x2 checks. So that means we can able to connect here. So what I will do, I'll again go back to putty, but this time I'll go to putty app, and it will ask you for the host name or the IP address to which you want to connect. So here you can check here IP version 4 public IP. So just copy that particular IP address, right, and go to putty again, put that particular IP address, give some name to it. So let's say that's my Nginx server, and I will save it. This is just to make things easier, so that next time if you want to connect, you simply load that particular IP address and you can connect. So that's my IP address, and then I have to give my key. So go to SSH auth browse and select the ppk file and say open. Wait for some time, it will give you login, but if it doesn't give you, that means there is an issue, and the issue is, I'll tell you in a minute. So close this. The issue is that since this particular EC2 instance needs to be connected via internet, your VPC should get internet gateway attached, which is not the case here. So let me go back to the VPC here. If I click here on internet gateway, there is an internet gateway here, but it is getting connected to some other VPC, which is here. That's not our VPC. So what do? We create one internet gateway for our VPC. So we say AKR IG stands for internet gateway, and we say click. Go to the action and say I want to attach to this particular VPC, which is my AKR VPC, and say attach internet gateway. That's it. Now the internet gateway has been attached. Okay, so now go to your VPC just to double check, and if you see here, that's the side which we have created, right? And you need to go to the main root table. Now main root table is called the routing table. It basically defines the routes, what are the routes for your VPC, what are the routes for your subnets. So if you click here routes, you will see that it's the only route is the default route. Click on edit route. I want to add one more route, and this time the route is for my internet gateway. which I've just created. Select that and put this value, because that's the value for everything, /o, and say route. Close it. Now if I see here route, now there are two routes. One is the local route and one is the internet route for your VPC. Okay. Now next step is you need to attach the subnets also, because this particular VPC having two subnets. So I will say subnet association edit, and I will select both these subnets because both are my public subnets, and I will say save. Right. So just to recap, that's my VPC. Yep. Within that VPC I have main route table, which has two routes, which has two subnets associated, which has become now public. And what I will do is I will go back to PuTTY. I will select that Nginx server. I will say load, click on SSH auth, select the key which I have generated, that's AKR PPK file, open it, click, bingo. So now it has get connected. So say yes. Since it is an Ubuntu instance, so the login could be, you can log in as a root or Ubuntu, but let's Ubuntu. Okay, and then click here. That's it. Now you are into the instance. Say clear. I don't have anything. Present working directory is /home Ubuntu. Perfect. So clear. Now the next task is to install Nginx server. But I will not be installing Nginx server as it is. The way I'm going to install Nginx server as a container, or Docker container. So I'll show you that. But before that, check whether the Docker is installed or not. So the way you check is, that's not a root. So I'll just check as okay. So I'll do one thing. I'll go into as a root. That's how you go it. So now you're in root, and then you will say Docker, enter. It says, boom. No, it's not installed, but you can use apt to install it. So copy paste, enter. It will not do because you need to update apt first. So apt update. Perfect. Clear. And now let's see whether the Docker has been installed or not. No, it should not be, because we have not installed Docker. We have just done the step number 1. Okay, now it says, since the apt has been updated, now you can use this particular command, and you say click, say yes. Alright, let's try whether the Docker has been installed. Yes, now it has been installed. ls command, nothing is there still. Let's say clear. Now we'll install, we'll download the Nginx image, and then we'll create a Docker container, and then we'll try to access it. So the next step is you need to pull the image from the Docker hub. So the way you do it is something like this. Alright, so you go here, or other, and I'll show you. Go to Google and see Docker Hub, and search for Nginx. So that's it. So that's your Nginx Docker image. Copy this, go to your instance, enter, and pull the image. Okay, check whether the image has been pulled properly or not. So I'll just say clear, and then I'll say Docker images. Yes, it has been. The Docker image has been pulled, and now once the Docker image has been pulled, the next step is to create the container. So I'll just copy this particular command. That's the easy way to run, and I'll make some changes here, so just check. Okay, so the command is something like this: docker run, name of the container, that is Nginx1, -d is the port number on which it listens and exports, so 8080, and then that's my image, which is nothing but the Nginx. So I'm creating a Nginx1 docker container from Nginx image. Enter. You will find one big hash number or hash code, which is for the container. So how do I check whether the container has been created? So the command is docker ps -a, and you can see the container has been created. Now you can access the container from the internet, and the way you do it is go here and give the IP address. So what is the IP address of our instance? That's this one. Copy, paste, enter. It's done. The Nginx is running within our container on EC2 instance, which is in public subnet 2A, which is within our VPC. AKR VPC is within our London region in our AWS